Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 54. It's going to be, you could say, the kickstart to a very busy weekend on the channel here, Matt. Between
Yes,
this, uh,
slightly busy.
yeah, it's slightly busy weekend between obviously with this podcast, and also Saturday night, for NXT Takeover and AEW Dynamite, and then obviously on Sunday for SummerSlam. We're gonna be talking a whole bunch of wrestling this weekend. Should be a ton of fun, but man, there's also a whole bunch of other things that have been going on, and I believe probably the first thing, and I texted you this, I think, on like Monday when this happened, is the whole um for is the whole Fernando Tatis situation
Yeah,
where where they were apparently up. It was like 7-3 or something, on the Texas Rangers, and the count was like 3-0, and the pitcher just grooved a freaking fastball right down the middle, and he smashed it for a grand slam. And apparently the Texas Rangers, they were not too happy, that he actually swung, because apparently this is an unwritten rule of some sorts, which, I mean, like, to me, these rules just need to freaking die. Whether it's like hitting guys just because of so, or like or like, not, or like, not like
yeah,
flipping you're like freaking bad. Like, it's just
yeah. They
it's
were up.
it's just
Yeah,
it's
they were up
so ridiculous.
10-3, 10-3 in the eighth.
Okay.
Um, yes. Uh, and he swung, and um, the one player who I saw has had the best um response, in my opinion, that I saw.
Trevor Bauer.
And no, not Trevor
Okay.
Bauer. It was
Okay. Was it?
actually, if I could find it in this article, and I can switch it over so everybody can see it, and hopefully the audio doesn't go out that time like it did last time. Um, John can't see it, but you guys can. Anthony Rizzo on ESPN 1000 today. Quote: If we're supposed to take 3-0, then the pitcher is supposed to throw us a fastball on 3-1.
Yep.
Um,
It just
that's
it's
that's true. How many
absolutely.
times have we seen, just based on a 3-1, a pitcher, a batter usually expects a fastball because you don't want to walk the guy, and then somebody throws in like a 12-6 curveball, 12-6
Mhm.
curveball in,
Right.
and the guy strikes out or
Right.
gets a no, not guy strikes out, gets a 3-2.
Mhm.
Um, Somebody else says, let me find it to scroll up, because the Anthony Rizzo one really I saw like makes sense, like,
Mhm.
um, because what do you like? What do you're supposed to go up in hit on, and then yeah, maybe you can not take it and get a walk, and
Mhm.
if the pitcher's struggling, but if you're ready for, if you're gearing up for a fastball,
Right.
why not hit it? And uh, Johnny Bench on Twitter
Who
too.
is as old school as you can get, and
Yeah,
if he's coming to Tatis's defense, it just kind of shows you
yeah.
just how
And
stupid that
here's
these
yeah,
freaking rules are. Yeah.
and here's the tweet. So you take a pitch. Now you're 3-1. Then the pitcher comes back with a great setup pitch, 3-2. Like I said, the curveball. Now you're ready to ground out into a double play. Everyone should hit 3-0. Grand slams are a huge stat at Tatis Jr. Tate, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Fernando Tatis. Yeah.
he's a Tatis. Is he a rookie? Because
No,
for some
he's
reason I've never heard of him until now.
on like a
Is that
second
is that
or third year now.
is
He's
that yeah?
he's actually really, really good. Yeah, like
Yeah,
he's
because
he's
I
he's a
swear I
stud.
never heard of him until all this happened. Mainly
No.
because he plays for the Padres.
Yeah.
But I have no room to talk. What? So that that got us, or at least me, thinking, and probably John too,
Mhm.
of just how dumb some of these unwritten rules are. And I pulled up Wikipedia page. Um,
Just like name a like few of them and like not the whole list.
well, I can.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
not a lot, but they can see them now.
Okay.
Here's a couple for the batter, and some make sense, some don't. Do not bunt to break up a no hitter. Um, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't know we want to.
Remember, remember when the Tabata against
He
was it
leaned into it.
yeah,
No,
was it
it was
Strasburg
nope. No,
or
it was Scherzer, Max
sure,
Scherzer.
sir.
I
He
saw.
like leans into it, and it became like that was the
Yeah,
ultimate troll move. I was even though the Pirates got freaking blanked, it was
it was
hilarious.
worth it.
It
Yeah,
was
and somebody
absolutely worth it.
somebody tweeted that video and with this whole uh, Grand Slam Tatis Jr. stuff
Yeah,
was going on.
yeah.
So we got uh, do not swing on a 3-0 count when your team is ahead. We
Mm-hmm.
obviously discussed that. Do not spend your time admiring a home run you hit. Um, Now, if you just see, there's a limit. Now, if you just stand there for like 5 minutes, okay. But
If it's
for
4.3 seconds, who gives a shit?
yeah, no.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
and then go around the bases. I don't care as long as you're not like just taunting the other team, like just talking trash. If you that crosses a little bit of a line, but if you look at it for a little bit, and
God
if you're just
forbid,
yeah
God forbid these guys show some excitement and some swagger here, like how, like I mean, like you see it in all of the other sports. People celebrate, people talk shit when they are kicking your ass. So it's just like
yep.
and this thing has been a problem for so long, and it just kind of just like remind you too why baseball has such a freaking like an age issue with their fans
Yeah.
is because God forbid they try and like attract some of those people.
Yeah. Here's another one that Tatis is a part of. Do not steal bases if your team is ahead by a
Oh
significant
yeah,
amount.
he freaking did that the other night
Was it?
too,
Yeah.
which was
It was
hilarious.
night after. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the night
Um.
after. I was like, that's awesome.
And he was. And yeah. Do not swing at the first pitch of the at bat if the pitcher is allowed back-to-back home runs. I don't know.
That is the
I
first time I've ever heard that one though.
I guess you don't want to hurt the
What?
pitcher's feelings for giving up back-to-back home runs. I don't know.
I'd be
Uh,
I'd be like, fuck off. Like
do not work the
seriously.
do not work the count if your team is winning or losing by a significant amount. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God, these rules are so dumb.
And this one I don't get. Do not rub the spot where you were hit by a pitch. I don't know. I don't know. I swear to God, I do not know. And I know it's like, oh, it's on
This is
Wikipedia.
this is straight up comedy right here.
I guess you
Are
want to
we
be
sure?
macho. I don't know. You be a
Are we
man.
sure? Are we sure that we aren't being trolled here or something?
I don't
Because
know. I
like,
saw this, even though it's Wikipedia. I saw this in another website, like legit website besides Wikipedia, and this is source. So I don't know. Do not walk in front of a catcher or umpire when walking to the batter's box.
oh yeah,
I never thought of
yeah,
it. Everybody does that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
that's not big of a deal. If somebody walked in front, I'm not going to sit home and be like, how dare you? Do not stand on the dirt near home plate when the pitcher is warming up. Fair.
That's just yeah, like
That's just
that.
security. That's
That's
just
just
like
common courtesy there.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
like yeah.
that's not like I don't think I've seen anybody do it. Well, maybe
No,
few and far between, but like you don't need to be there.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
not?
like, yeah, I haven't seen
Well,
that
this
before.
is common sense. Do not assist a member of the opposing team. Well, no crap. Uh, do not speak to a pitcher who is in the process of throwing a no hitter, meaning like your own teammates,
Yeah, yeah,
which people are
that's
superstitious.
yeah.
Um,
Like, I'm fine with that. That's
and
not the big of a deal there.
yeah, and I've done that with somebody. I've done that with somebody who I was bowling with, who bowled a perfect game, and like nobody says anything. You don't want to get in the head. Nobody says a damn thing. And just a couple more here for the pitcher. A pitcher who is removed from the game in the middle of an inning must stay in the dugout until the end of the inning. I guess people were saying just to see their their relief get out of the inning, or kind of someone is respect. Usually that happens. People do that.
Right.
Um, I guess it's just out of respect for the guy coming in, but like I don't know. And the last one for a pitcher should not indicate displeasure if one of his fielders commits an error.
Well, they must. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. Like, that's been so common there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people have thrown their hands up. Um, but the one that's on this list, that always got me, is that if somebody on another team did something wrong or offensive to you, that the next game or the next time up, you have to hit them, but you have to hit them with the pitch. I never got to me. I don't. To me, I don't get that as payback, because you're giving the team a free base. Might as well just walk them.
Yeah, and like, and they would gladly take that. It's just like,
I
okay,
don't
hit
get that.
me.
Okay,
I'm getting first base, and like,
yeah,
you're stupid.
you did something wrong to me. You know what? My punishment to you, I'm gonna hit you with a ball, not at the head, somewhere you can take it, thigh, leg, what have you. You get to be on base,
Mhm.
and then you never know what can happen. The next guy comes up, hits a double, two men in scoring position, depending on
Mhm.
what the out situation. That can lead to a run, and that could be the difference maker uh, in a game if it's a one run game. So I
Exactly.
never got that. I don't get that retaliation, and you see some people on Twitter be like, "Oh, you got to throw it at them." Uh, the whole thing happened with this year with the Astros. People, even in exhibition games, throwing balls at them.
But
That's
in
an
their
extreme
defense
case.
too,
That's the extreme case.
I completely understand. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
like, those guys just
yeah.
they. I mean, like, just speak
If it's
for
a game
them.
that
Like,
doesn't matter, okay. But
yeah,
still, if it's like if somebody, I don't know what a non-extreme example is. Okay, well, if somebody
like,
taunts
I'm
a
Joe
home run,
Kelly, freaking Joe
yeah,
Kelly.
that hero. But if somebody taunts like admires a home run, right? Why wait to the next at bat or the next game, depending on the situation,
Right.
and give
Whereas,
that guy
yeah, like,
win the game? That the
that is
punishment
freaking
is
stupid.
striking him. The punishment is either striking him out or winning the game or
Hmm.
winning the series. Do the
Right.
sweep. Not here's a
Like,
you
I
offended
don't,
me. Take base.
I don't understand that, but I completely understand why opposing teams are going after these guys. They embarrassed, not only their team but the sport itself for
Oh,
how
that
they
effect.
cheated.
If it was like
It's just, yeah, like in my opinion, that is completely warranted. It's it's like it's still
I
stupid,
do it,
but
yeah.
I completely
If you
understand
do,
them.
yeah. If you're doing it,
Mhm.
if you're doing it, then do it early in the game. Um,
Especially to Matt, when the commissioner was like, and
yeah, yeah.
just absolved them of any single wrongdoing. whatsoever. So they pretty much had to essentially take matters into their own hands. But they just these freaking unwritten rules. If there is one thing in Major League Baseball, I really do wish is that these things just freaking die. It's 2020. It's 2020 now, guys. It's time for this game to evolve.
And it's
And one good
yeah.
thing would be to just get rid of the stupid pettiness here.
Yeah. I mean, if they're so important, write them down.
Exactly.
It's
Which
unwritten. I mean, some stuff in life, um, is almost unwritten stuff. Uh, in sports stuff, and out of sports, it's mostly courtesy stuff. Um, I don't know if the one that another thing in sports that pops up in my head, and I don't think it's a role. I don't. It's not written down. I don't think so. But John, you might kind of know this or see it if you ever watch golf. When golfers are putting, and if you hit a ball and say it doesn't, if it goes in or not to walk into the line or where the other person is going to putt, because you step on the grass, you know, undulations, mini undulations. It's not like a role like if you go on the PGA's website, can't do that, but it's a common courtesy, kind of an unwritten role, and that makes sense because you don't want to screw the other player over. But if I walk in front of the catcher and umpire, that's not going to throw anybody off. It's just mostly common courtesy stuff, or like being chivalrous for a woman, like opening the door or whatever. Like when you're born, you don't take a course on how to be a human 101, and opening the door for a lady is the number one thing.
that should be kind of
It
common
is
sense
common
there.
currency. It's an unwritten thing.
Yeah.
So but to transition from that thing to another story about women, Mike Milbury. I think last night that would be Thursday, I believe Thursday.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. There's nine.
uh, on a broadcast, a hockey broadcast. Let me see, what game was it? I don't think
I
it
mean,
even says.
it,
It doesn't
it,
matter. No,
it was
well,
Washington. It was
yeah,
Washington and the Islanders.
yes. Um, the play-by-play man John Forsland said, if you think about it, the bubble is a terrific environment with regard to if you enjoy playing and enjoy being with your teammates for long periods of time, it's a perfect place. Milbury responded, not even any women here to disrupt your concentration. And people took that and ran. The National Hockey League issued a
Yeah.
statement saying the National Hockey League condemns the insensitive and insulting comment that Mike Milbury made during last night's broadcast, and we have communicated our feelings to NBC. The comment did not reflect the NHL's values and commitment to making our game more inclusive and welcoming to all. And so, yeah, Milbury once again gets himself into hot water here.
Not the first time. It's not going
No.
to be the last time. I mean, this man just has a laundry list of incidents,
Yeah,
and
and
yeah, it's just like I have never been a Milbury guy. I feel like
I don't think he's that good on
I don't think
color.
he
I
is.
don't think he adds
No,
anything.
no. To me, Edzo is so much better.
Yeah, it
It's
makes
just
you appreciate Enzo.
big time.
Uh,
It just like it's just like I mean, like he comes off like such a freaking goon to me, and is like such a like traditionalist as far as hockey is concerned. Absolutely believes in the freaking goon in the like, goon mentality as far as like going after star players, um, and stuff like that. Things I I have been like so against for so many years because Matt, if you recall, for so many years, um, when when it came with the Pens and like Tom Wilson, who would just have cheap shot after cheap shot, and like basically the NHL would just like, if they would do anything, it was something so minor that like that it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And like he's been a big proponent of that for so long, but it just like sooner or later this guy is going to say something or do something really stupid again, and maybe then they will finally say, "Hey, man, it's time for you to like step aside now." It's just in which I'd be perfectly fine with that.
And
It's just, yeah.
in another NBC and sports employee, oh my God, his name's slipping me.
Thom
No, 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 no,
Brennaman.
no, 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 no. We'll get to that, but
Okay.
oh, Christ, he was a commentator. He was a student. He's suing for anti-straight discrimination. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God. He used to play for the. Oh my God. I can't believe. I can't think. Uh. Holy Christ. Um. Please be in here.
I'm like, I'm Jeremy Roenick.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because he either got suspended or
Yeah. He's suing
whatever.
for, yeah, he's suing for like,
Anti-straight discrimination.
yeah,
Because I
for
think he was saying some stuff about uh, uh, Catherine Tippin or Tappan, the host, the studio host, one of the studio hosts they have.
uh
Um, I think that's the issue. So that's so NBC's got two things. If I'm NBC,
So
I'm
I think at some point you're going to have to start to like
I
lay the
let him
hammer down.
go
Lay the hammer down, man.
once litigation is over with Ronick. I think you let him go. Um, and another person lets go, and another transition is, like you said, Thom Brennaman, the Reds play-by-play announcer for Fox
Yeah.
Sports Ohio during a game. Was it with Kansas City? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they were, I guess, coming back from a break, the mic was
Yeah.
on,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he referenced some place to being the I won't say it,
Yeah.
the F capitals of the world, F derogatory term for a gay person, a homosexual
Mm-hmm.
person, and then there's nobody knows what he's actually referring to, if it's
And two men
Kansas
like,
City, because I think they were playing in Kansas City. Nobody
right.
knows. But then after a pause, he starts reading the pregame show for the promo for the pregame show,
Mm.
and then what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, like he was saying that so comfortably too,
Yeah,
like it wasn't even a big deal or anything. I'm like, like first of all, how do you know? How do you not know that you're not live? First of all,
always
and
assume the mic is live.
always
Don't.
assume that it's live. And number two, what would be so bad that he would just have to say this? Like, I mean, like, what
I
could
want to
have
know who.
possibly happened?
I want to
Right,
know I want to know what's leading up to that and what
right.
who's he talking with.
I know exactly.
Um, and then um, so he
And like on
issues.
Fox, and like Fox, and apparently Fox suspended him too for any future NFL games
Yeah.
that he would be calling as well there. So it's like, man, like what
And
the hell was this?
then he issued an apology on the air, but the like this best part,
Word.
I think I can play it. Wait, I think I can play it. I
Well,
think
yeah.
you're not gonna be able to hear it,
Okay.
but they will. Um, and this is via Slate.com. Michael Ritter on Twitter here. And you see this should play through.
Way through this game as Holland takes over on the mound. I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt anyone out there, I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I want to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck, for the Reds, for Fox Sports Ohio, for the people I work with, for anybody that I've offended here tonight. I can't begin to tell you how deeply sorry I am. That is not who I am, and never has been. And I'd like to think maybe I could have some people that could back that up. I am very, very sorry, and I beg for your forgiveness. Jim Day will take you the rest of the way home.
So you guys heard there. The worst part that happened was that Nick Castellanos hits a home run in the middle of the apology. He goes, "I drive left, and that's a home run for Nick Castellanos," or whatever. It's, I know he's doing his job, but it's just a bad look in the middle of the apology. Yeah, he goes. Oh, the quote's right here. Because I pride myself and think of myself as a man of fate. And here's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, and it would be a home run. So that would make it a 4-0 ball game, and it goes right back into it. I just, yeah.
He had to have known at that point. He was like, "Well, this is probably it for me."
He said, "Yeah." He goes, I don't know if I'm going to be putting on the headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be from my bosses at Fox." So, like, he, at that point, somebody's in his ear has probably told him, "You got to say something," and he knew. When somebody told him all the mic was on, he's like, "Oh no!" He's probably his whole life flashed before his eyes, and I think even NFL and Fox pulled him from football.
They did.
Yeah.
And to we were actually recording on like Wednesday night when the Cincinnati Reds basically came down and said that they were suspending Thom for essentially for the rest of the season. I would be shocked if he is brought back at that point. It's just there is just zero room for that. I mean, I don't care what the context is. I don't care what the situation is. Like it's 2020 now. Like we need to be a little bit more sensitive here to these issues. And to me, just what he said was just so wrong, which is so despicable and disrespectful to any LGBTQ person out there. It's just
apparently he wrote a opinion column in the Cincinnati Enquirer directly apologizing to the LGBTQ community. And I'm gonna read it. Here it is. I totally didn't know this. This is what it was. I used a word that is both offensive and insulting. Right before a sentence that is extremely. Oh, in the past 24 hours, I have read about its history. I had no idea it was so rooted in hate and violence, and I'm particularly ashamed that I, someone who makes his living by use of words, could be so careless and insensitive. It's a word that should have no place in my vocabulary, and I will certainly never utter it again. And until the end of the column, he says, to start improving my understanding of LGBTQ plus issues, not in the way to simply check a box to keep my job. So I find it hard to believe that he didn't know that the word was used in the derogatory term. I guess that's just stepping back and just trying to say the right thing. But I'm surprised he didn't know that that's a bad word, which you know 99% of the people you know who've ever said it or know about it know it's not a good thing, at least in America. I know it has a different meaning, I guess, over in England, roots there, but it has been used as a derogatory term in any form of the word.
Hell, I mean, like anyone in the states, I think that's pretty
Yep.
common sense. Or
And
that's like into like that thing gets thrown around so much. I mean, it's pretty much what the N word is for the for blacks,
yeah.
or it's pretty damn close to it. So it's like I just, oh man, like it's just really really bad. And if you get caught saying it, especially on his platform, it
Yeah.
just like your career is freaking done. Like it just, and like Dejan Kovacevic summed it up it is so nicely. It was just like I'm like he's done. Like it's just there's no other way around it. There's no sugarcoating this. It just looks really really bad. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
not much else to
Yeah,
really say about
he had other issues too, I guess, in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing as egregious. I guess in 22 he was calling games for the Diamondbacks, and he called for Tony Womack, who's playing for the D-backs, to be benched. I guess he said it in
Former Pirate too.
Yeah, a disparaging tone, or I guess he was. And then in 2006, October 2006, he said he was sorry for making fun of a New York Mets fan with degenerative vision who was wearing a device to help him see the action on the field. His booth partner Steve Lyons was fired a few days later after he made some kind of joke about Lou Piniella, the Spanish language, and a missing wallet during a ALCS game. And yeah, so that's pretty much about that. And he said something during a Pirates game with Hot Mike. I
like with Jeff Locke.
About Jeff Locke. I don't know if it was necessarily about him, but it was
sucks.
This guy. No, it was like, this guy sucks. And I guess he says, or somebody said that it wasn't technically about him, or wasn't about him. But what are you talking about? I don't know. I don't, and I think Locke went on to help the Pirates win the game. So
yeah.
So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just unfortunate that that was used, and good on Fox Sports Ohio and Fox, NFL Fox, whatever the parent company is, for taking action.
Had to do what they had to do.
In this day and age. Should be not in any day and age, but this day and age, you say something stupid like that, and you got to go. And uh, real quick, we've talked about Sammy Guevara saying he would back years ago on the interview in a podcast or whatever said in regards to Sasha Banks that he would paraphrasing here he would rape her or something like in a joking manner because apparently he found her attractive enough and that got him suspended and off TV for a month or so at least. And so you can't say stuff people you can't say stuff like that. I mean, now more than ever in a social media age, people see what you say and read what you say, and it's not like before where obviously no social media, so you can say stuff.
Everyone has a phone now. Everyone has a Instagram, Twitter account. It's just like you have to be so careful, and you have to like always, especially if you're in that line of work, that always assume that you're always live. That you're always live. Like
I run sound for our local high school musical. Have been doing it for years, and you don't know how many times. Well, even before the show or even during the show, I can listen to what everybody's saying, and some stuff, well, high schooler kids say, you don't want that going out to the audience. But we always tell people, always assume your mic's on, even if it's not backstage. Don't say anything really wrong, because you never know when it can go through the speakers, or in this case on TV. Either in Mike Milbury's case or Thom Brennaman's case. So it's just always just act professionally, and we can't stop people what they say in private groups with friends or whatever.
But at the same time, you can hold those same people accountable for their actions. Like that's, I think, it needs to be the absolute thing that needs to be taken out of this. Is like, if you say something extremely stupid, it's like fair game. Like and like it just like the message needs to be sent that this sort of a thing will not be tolerated. It's just that simple. So yeah, that was that. And I want to switch gears here a little bit, Matt, and talk about UFC 252, which happened last weekend. Which that was a pretty rough night for the both of us, as far as
betting,
like
two
as
upsets.
Far as, it just that, but like that show just honestly made me extremely sad, just because obviously with like DC, with his final fight just felt just so anticlimactic, and on top of that, Sean O'Malley on top of that, pretty much gets injured within the first 2 or like 3 minutes, in the first round, and he then gets finished by Chita Vera. So the two most important things on that pay-per-view turned out to be complete. So it's just I mean, I was so sad for DC, just because just the guy is just such a freaking accomplished fighter, to a very good commentator, just a great overall human being, but it just like, and even be for the actual eye poke there, Matt, which which like that thing was nasty, and how the ref did not see that is beyond me, because that thing was
I
and,
forget what angle he was.
yeah,
If he was at a bad angle to see it, I don't remember. I don't remember his view of sight
no,
of. So I can't really criticize because we didn't see what he saw.
no.
Obviously, with replay,
Mhm.
it'd be like, oh yeah, how did he miss that? But
Yeah,
yeah, so
easier
yeah,
for us to say. Yeah.
and then the post match interview, he said he couldn't see out of his left eye
Yeah,
at all.
which
Um,
and somehow he won round four with basically fighting, on like one eye there, which I don't know how he did that, but it's oof, I'm but that was impressive on his end. But now Stipe, he clearly wins this fight. I had it at like 4-1. To me, outside of like round four, to me, Stipe clearly won
yeah,
all four
it,
of these rounds here.
and the judges' scores were 49-46, 49-46, 48-47.
Yeah, I don't know where the 48-47 came
No,
from.
I don't
I
think he
I
won.
feel like I feel like in like round two, if Stipe cannot catch him there, he clearly wins round two. But that last like 30 seconds killed him. And that's what gave him
Yep.
Stipe round two, and that could have changed the whole complexion of that fight there. But but no, Stipe, he goes on and like he wins, and now it looks like we're probably are getting Stipe versus Francis two, which I'm expecting a much different fight this time or around Francis. And Francis is a freaking monster. Uh, his last like man, his last three fights I think have totaled a combined time of like 2 minutes and like 42 seconds or something like that, which is ridiculous. I think he won with in like 20 seconds or so. In his last fight, I mean, this just feels all like it's completely geared towards Francis Ngannou becoming new heavyweight champion. But then again, we were all saying the exact same thing at that time. But I just feel like with Francis, he's just such a more experienced fighter now. It's just, man, like in like any sort of like punch that connects of Francis, like it's going to put you asleep. Like, I mean, like we have seen it with guys such as like as a Rosen as a Rosenstruck, Kane, Overeem, Junior Dos Santos. So it's just like, I just find it so hard to believe that 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 he won't win. And so I'm very interested to see that. And as like DC mentioned in his interview with like Joe Rogan, he said unless he is fighting for titles, is completely done, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I just feel as for DC, he doesn't really have anything else to exactly prove now. I know that leading up to for the fight with Dana, he was trying to pretty much downplay everything and trying to convince Cormier to to still stay and fight. But you just have the sense, even even before, he was just like, he was pretty set on this is going to be it regardless. So we shall see if that still sticks. But also, Matt, some more some more UFC news. We had some big news as far as Jon Jones. He announced, I think this was on Wednesday, that he will be relinquishing his light heavyweight title. Um, that that he has relinquished his light heavyweight title and plans on to going to heavyweight, which I kind of didn't have a feel. I kind of didn't have a feeling that he was going to that he was going to be fighting anymore at like 205. I mean, like you just really got the sense, unless the company was going to be paying him a little bit more, that he wasn't going to be accepting a fight against Anthony Reyes or against like Jan Blachowicz there. So now you figure he's going to eventually fight at, at heavyweight. Who that is going to be against, I'm not exactly sure. But I think it's pretty clear he is not going to be getting first crack at him at Stipe. In my opinion, he should not leapfrog he should not leapfrog Francis for
Yeah.
that tower shot. I would.
Didn't Dana say not before Francis? Because I read this article, at least the title from MMA Junkie, I guess through USA Today, says Dana White is open to Jon Jones fighting for UFC heavyweight title, but not before Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
And that was as of
like,
the 19th.
yeah. That's not going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, like Francis has mowed through everyone since his fight. Pretty much after his fight against Derek Lewis, which was one of the worst fights I have ever seen. Easily the worst heavyweight fight in MMA history. Like that was like I never thought we would find something worse than Dan freaking Kimbo versus Dada 5000. Like that was
Oh God.
I did not think anything would even touch that, but man, like it just like it's just like neither guys threw anything, that they were timid, but at the same time too, Francis, this was right after with him Stipe, he just killed his confidence, and you could tell. But ever since then, like he has been just mauling guys, and now with his confidence back, I mean, like especially if you're Dana, like you cannot just keep on putting him on the back burner. Like he has paid his dues. He it's time for him to give him his title shot. So, and I fully expect that to happen. I'm not exactly sure who they would pin John against for his first fight at heavyweight. Maybe they possibly do maybe him versus Overeem, or him versus Lewis, him versus Curtis Blades possibly. I'm not sure, but I'm very interested to see how he does at heavyweight. But I also think too. I also think too, man. This was also a move. That 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 he's doing just because he's seen how harder these fights are getting. At 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 205 here, they are are no longer they are no longer cakewalks anymore. I mean, like hell, his last fight. I mean, like there was a lot of people who thought that had he lost. So I mean, like, and like he hasn't finished. I think the last finish he had was against Gustafson, which was about 3 or 4 fights ago, and he couldn't he couldn't finish Anthony Smith. He couldn't finish Thiago Santos, and obviously he couldn't finish and obviously he couldn't finish Anthony Reyes. So you kind of saw that into after his last fight, he was pretty much it was playing hardball with the company as far as like cash was concerned. And he would just put his foot in the sand and then obviously relinquished his title. But very interested to see where that goes. I'm hoping that he will fight be before the year is over. So yeah, we shall see how how that how that goes there, Matt. And just a few more things here. This is wrestling related here, but I just wanted to briefly touch on this, Matt. So we got word yesterday that from AEW that they are going to be bringing back fans starting on like next week's AEW Dynamite, which is on Thursday the 27th, I believe, and they're going to be um, basically having 10. They're going to be having 10% capacity. Um, Everyone is going to be socially distanced, and they're going to be in
We
like
hope.
the is like pods or something. Matt, any thoughts
Um,
on this here?
I think it's if it's done in a safe way, nobody gets sick. I think it's
It's outside too. On top of that,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
I still don't. I, if you're in close proximity, whatever, you're gonna get it. I don't care if you're outside. But that helps. Um, but if you're not, if you're sitting next to somebody, you're still. I don't see what outside has to do with it. But regardless, I think it's a nice way. Obviously, limited capacity to get some fans in and some return to normalcy. Um, you have that, so that's a good thing. Uh, Plus, then you have WWE doing their Thunderdome concept with something similar to what the NBA is doing with fans on LED screens virtually. So watching the show, excuse me, via webcam, and then cheering on. And I guess we'll see it. Well, since we're recording Friday, see it tonight. How they mix in the audio, because they did a test run on Thursday with just some matches, and I guess they mixed in I think can audio and the real audio, and obviously as a test run, so it's not perfect because you saw a lot of repeat people in the audience, probably because they didn't get everybody. They're just testing stuff out, so people are judging it on a test run.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm glad they did it, because you want to work the kinks out before you go live on Fox.
Fox, yeah.
And it's bigger eyes there. So
One thing I don't understand though, why are they doing this for Takeover, which I just did not understand that. Like, you would think for
I
um,
guess I don't know, but they're keeping
uh,
NXT in in their arena at
in
Full
the
Sail.
Performance Center
I'm
wholesale.
guessing, yeah, Full Sail. I'm guessing because they have that agreement with Full Sail to use it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the reason, at least right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just don't want to take them out. So business wise, if that's the reason, it makes sense. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What are you going to do if you're in this agreement and whatever? But so it's going to be different, at least for WWE, for Raw and SmackDown, particularly. and pay-per-views, you're getting out of the performance center. You're in this big, you're in an arena. Your setup is I looks great with all the lights, the pyro, they had fire, lasers. It makes it seem bigger than obviously what you can do in a small space at the PC. And then you have fans to see how that works, but there's some normalcy even though if you don't have fans there physically. You got fans there remotely, virtually. So at least for both companies, it's a shift to more normalcy, and it's a welcome sight for
Yeah,
both.
especially for the pay-per-views because because especially too All Out, I believe that's 2 weeks away. I'm pretty sure, and obviously SummerSlam this weekend. Any sort of some of of some normalcy is going
Yeah,
to have those shows come off so much better.
yeah, and for WWE's sake, it makes, and yeah, obviously AEW too, but just the whole drastic change from the PC to an arena with all the glitz and glamour,
Mhm.
stage and stuff, is gonna make the shows feel way bigger
Yeah.
than they
Yeah.
would be, regardless of how the show is. It seems more big, seems bigger and more enticing to watch than what people got from the PC. People say that it just seems bland after a while, and so we're happy. I think most of the people are excited to see what tonight brings, um, or yesterday, depending, since you're watching this Saturday on SmackDown, and obviously on SummerSlam on Sunday, and then Raw and the rest of the shows moving forward for at least 2 months or something,
Yeah.
whatever they leased at the Amway Center
I
in
would
Orlando.
imagine that's probably is going to be
Be
extended
extended.
because apparently they're only paying 400 and like $50,000 total
Yeah,
for the rent.
I,
So
I
it's
it's almost in a see week, not week to week, but month to month basis to see if I can get people in the in stands.
yeah.
So you're not gonna go 6 months. Who knows in 2 months what the situation is? So it
Mhm.
makes sense, business wise. And same thing AEW. You only went 10% because you go
You're
way
safe.
overboard.
Yeah.
Safe and sorry. At least it's something. And that's with any sport,
Hmm.
um, uh, be it professionals or
Yep.
minor leagues or high school. Um, it, high school, some places don't have fans in the stands are very limited.
Hmm.
Who can be in there, and you see baseball with no fans, and at least NBA has virtual, so there's something, but um, everybody's being overly precautious as they should, um, and then we go from there in a couple months. Um,
And like football, that starts up in like a few weeks. And
yep.
so far everything has been going pretty good. I've been kind of surprised actually how good that things
Yeah, I feel like
have been going there.
I feel like it's one of those situations when it's quiet, too
Mhm.
quiet, and I'm just waiting for
Mhm.
something to happen.
Hey man,
Uh,
I definitely think
if it
though,
doesn't, that's great. But I just with football, I just
we
to me
need
it feels
football.
inevitable.
We need football. Like it's just, man. Like, can you imagine without any football in this country? Like it's
In the winter time, and
hell. I mean, have you been
people
following?
actually have to talk to their families on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Have you been following Devon Corback from Ohio State who was basically promoting a like petition, because obviously with the Big Ten canceled everything, and there's a lot of really pissed off people who want to actually play, which which I completely understand. And to me, and I have been pretty consistent with this. If everything is safe, if the proper precautions are being taken, then I say go for it. The problem is for Matt. I just feel like, and and we are seeing it all across so many campuses. These people are freaking stupid. That they are selfish. They're just, it's like those cases are going to freaking rise because people, especially if you're in college, they love to party. So it's just, that thing is going to be like, it's going. I mean, hell, I saw a Snapchat. I think from like from like Penn State's campus where there was a good 500 people gathered. I was like, and someone said, "Yep, this place is getting shut down within a freaking week."
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that too. Yeah, I think there was mostly freshmen.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would
Whatever. It does.
imagine so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But to be stupid and sick, because something's gonna happen, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time.
Some colleges are already doing it.
Yeah. Did you see what like Coach Narduzzi said today?
Yes.
Buzz players only have one
One
girlfriend,
girlfriend, not three.
not two or
It's
three.
like, I was like, that seems awfully specific. Is that a
like,
problem in Pitt's football team? That
it's problems everywhere, Matt. It's not just been like
I was going to say that's
football.
awfully specific.
That's football players in general. It's like
True.
have one girlfriend, not two or three.
Not three. It's like, well, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, like you see how freaking crazy those guys are. Like they were just like, like,
that's true.
I won't get caught. Nothing bad will happen.
Narduzzi knows your life. He knows.
Well, and two, he's been coaching for quite a while now. So
Yeah,
I mean, like,
he's seen it
he
all.
knows. Yeah, like he knows how these. I mean, hell, like these kids are like 18 to 21 or 22 years old here. Put one and one together, and you can kind of figure out what exactly happens behind the scenes. It's just, but I mean,
man. That was great.
Yeah, because I believe that college football that is starting up soon, isn't it?
Well, in some places.
It's in like 2 weeks. When is Pitt's first game? I'm going to pull.
I have no. I've lost the
pull
schedule.
ZESPN.com. But I just hope that we have a season of more than anything. Right. Let's take a look. See here. My computer ever wants to load. The Pittsburgh Panthers, their first game. Well, let's see. Well, is game against like Miami of Ohio still on, or is that
that I don't know?
Okay, let me. Let's take a look at their schedule now. Yeah, because I read. Yeah, actually, nope, that is canceled. So their first game actually isn't until September 19th, which is home against Syracuse. From what I'm seeing.
Yeah, here. I think it's just conference games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're correct. So they're home against Syracuse, Louisville, and NC State. Then they go to Boston College, and then to down south in Miami, home versus Notre Dame, at Florida State, at Georgia Tech, home versus Virginia Tech, and then they go down to Death Valley in Clemson for the final game there. So yeah, we'll see if everything holds tight here. It's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out because the Steelers, I think they start up on the 12th or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Matt, if you got nothing else to add here,
Yeah, you want
I
to
think
talk about? I think
yeah,
I think we mentioned we were going to talk about, but real quick, do you want to talk about the NHL playoffs?
yeah,
Real quick.
sure, yeah, that's fine.
So we have uh, at
The
least
Capitals,
yeah, Capitals out in
they
round
have
one.
been deleted as a broken one would say.
Yes. So they lost 4-1 in the series to the Islanders,
Yep.
um, which are could be a little bit of a dark horse. But we have at least tonight. So when you're watching this, it's all over.
Mm.
Maybe, or we're going to Game Sevens. We got Game 6 between Flyers and the Canadians, with Philadelphia leading 3-2. And if the Flyers win, they will play New York Islanders, and then Boston will play Tampa. And if they win tonight, and then another Game 6, Blues and Canucks with Vancouver, the lower seed winning 3-2, leading 3-2 in the series. The winner of the series, depending no matter who it is, will play Las Vegas in the second round, and the Avalanche Stars matchup is already set, and that will be played on Saturday evening tonight. And that's Game 1, and then if you go back to the Flyers Canadian series, if the Canadians come back to eliminate the Flyers, the Lightning will play the Canadians, and the Bruins will play the Islanders. So there's your scenarios there. So any quick thoughts on if? Well, it's hard to say who's going to win, but since it's not really set. But Avalanche and Stars, since that's set, should be a
Yeah,
good one. But
yeah.
and the Stars came back. Dallas was down 3-0 and scored 6 unanswered goals. Was that last night or something ridiculous? So they have firepower. So that should be a good series. I still pulling for Avalanche, Colorado, to win that series. And the rest, I guess, we have to talk about later, maybe next week when,
Yeah.
obviously when the series are set and we know who's playing who there. But just to touch on the NHL real quick before the second round gets underway.
All right. Well, I think on that note, this will probably do it for episode 54 of the podcast, guys. And as we have been talking about all week, be sure to tune into our NXT takeover and our AEW Dynamite reaction show. We will be doing that after we finish watching both shows, which should be an hour after NXT, so that we can watch for the final hour of Dynamite. So stay tuned for that, and also for our SummerSlam reaction show on Sunday night. We will be recapping everything on there. As always, comment, subscribe, follow our Twitter account. We are extremely active over there, interacting with like you guys as far as like wrestling and MMA. So 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 for Matt and for John, we shall see you tonight for the NXT Takeover and AEW Dynamite reaction show. We shall see you then.